Hello everyone, it is Costaphia, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be talking about something which has been brought up a lot, and I mean a lot. And if you're looking at the video, you can probably see already what I'm going to be talking about. And this is the debate between us using Neverwinter 2 and other software like Unreal or Unity. So I'm just going to show you an example. Me and Colton actually did this the other day, but it turned out it turned out terrible. I'm just going to show you an example. So me and Colton, we did a challenge where Colton had to make Lumbridge in Neverwinter 2 and I had to make it in Unity, and that was just like the castle I made. As you can, we only had 10 minutes to do it, so as you can see, it was absolutely terrible, the model I've made. So I'm actually going to delete that. So, the video, apparently it didn't record my audio, so we just had to scrap it, so I just thought I'd sort of like redo it on my own. Not a challenge, of course, but something slightly similar. So, I am currently in Unity, and I'm going to be talking about why we use Neverwinter 2 and not something like Unreal or Unity. In the meantime, I have a picture of the Lumbridge Castle here. I've made four objects myself in Blender, and they're very simple. I'm going to try and remake Lumbridge Castle in Unity while I talk about the topics I want to talk about. So I'm just going to get a sort of like a basic start of where I'm supposed to be doing. So I keep opening the toolset. So I'm going to just make a wall there and a wall there. Let's just say that's the entrance in. Right. So why Neverwinter 2 to begin with? Well, I've never intended it to be sort of like a server or sort of like get actual fans from it. I really only started to work on Neverwinter 2 / the Molior RS project because it was just a fun personal project for me, and that's it. You probably heard me say that in a few videos because it's true. The project will always just be a personal project of mine, but it is really nice to see like all these fans and all the other comments we get each day about the project. It's really nice to see, and I'm really grateful for it. But with that being said, a lot of people have said, why don't we use something like Unreal, or I'm just going to say Unity. I can't be bothered to keep saying Unreal. So why don't we use like Unity? Well, this is because I'm not really good with programming, and making a game obviously requires a lot of programming. Neverwinter 2, I never really intended to sort of like I said, I never intended it to become really popular and all that stuff. I just did it for fun, you know. I made Lumbridge, then I showed some friends, they were like, cool, now why don't you do something else? I was like, yeah, okay. And it kept going on like that, really. So I did one thing, then they asked me to do another. So it kept going on until I had around like about 5 areas. You can watch some of my really old videos where I do like Lumbridge tour and all that. They're quite. So you can see the areas on how many things I've done. But with that being said, somebody told me to send a clip into Chris Archie, and so I did, and then we got fans, and people were like, oh, when can I play this? I'm like, well, you can't really play it because there's nothing to play. And then something sort of like sparked in my head, and I was like, hey, why don't I sort of like just create the entire project? And actually, I think this was way before Chris Archie and the whole clip sending in. But it was pretty much that in the situation of why don't I just sort of like create the entire game in it, because I could do it in Neverwinter 2 without any problem. But obviously it was just time consuming, so that was one issue. The other issue was I was only doing it for fun, and it can get really boring at times, especially when I had like no fans or I wasn't really doing YouTube. And I keep saying as well, that's one of my bad habits. So with that being said, and I keep saying that as well, so I'm just trying to, this is really annoying me now because I can't highlight this and that. There we go. Oh, for some reason I was highlighting the other one. So, getting back on topic, I'm trying to not lose my train of thought because really I can only do one thing at a time. I can't multitask at all. As you can see at the moment, I am absolutely terrible with trying to do this thing. So in Lumbridge Castle, it's a relatively easy castle. I just use a default Neverwinter 2 castle model. So, you know, I didn't have to model that. I didn't have to create any textures for it. Trying to think of other stuff. Say, like, I didn't have to attach, like, a doorway onto it, and if you open a door, does it work? In all that stuff, really. It is really sort of, like, simple to do. But this one of the things I don't want to sort of like say it. Well, trying not to sound egoish, but working on Neverwinter 2 is still a lot of hard work, even though a lot of stuff is sort of like handed towards us, i.e. the models and all that stuff. God's sake, I keep opening the wrong stuff. Right, that is complete. So this is RuneScape's Lumbridge Castle, and let's take a look at mine. And keep in mind, this took me about 40 minutes to do, and it looks terrible, so get ready. That is my Lumbridge Castle in Unity, which looks absolutely, it looks relatively the same as RuneScape's, but it looks terrible. Let me hop in game. Maximize on play. And I hate the controls of this default character. They're so horrible. Let me just run out a bit so you can get a long shot of it. There we go. And if I try to get inside it, you'll notice that I'll be able to run through it because I haven't done the walk meshes. So yeah, that is Lumbridge Castle. Isn't it nice and cozy in here? So yeah, it took me about 40 minutes, and there's no textures. A lot of the objects aren't blended in. Let me just show you, like, oops, I'm on the game. There we go. So as you can see, you got like stuff popping out. The walls aren't all symmetrical and all lined up together and connected. So yeah, that is that. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. And I'm pretty just going to work on the wilderness while I talk through this. So, Unity versus Neverwinter 2. So, let's say, I'm just going to open up the east border wilderness area. And let's just say, you know, I want to put down, well, let's say I'm building Lumbridge and I want to build a castle. Is it going to take me 40 minutes to sort of like make the objects in Blender? Actually, it will take me a lot longer to actually model and texture, maybe a good few hours, and then to build it together that would be another few hours. So let's see me do this in Neverwinter 2. So I'm just put on daytime so you can see. Let me zoom out a bit more. Oops. So let's just say here. Let's just say I'm going to type in castle. There's two castles, but I only use mostly the first one. And I would place that down, you know, change its size a little bit, and yeah, boom, put that down. And we have Lumbridge Castle done with its nicely looking textures. It's got a door you can use, you know, it's got windows and all this. Obviously it feels like we're cheating because it's not our own, but again, it is what it is. I'm not looking to make my own sort of like game where I'm trying to sell it for money. The project is really just for fun, honestly. if we were, well, the whole entire point of it is to make RuneScape through another game, and if we tried to do that in, say, like Unity, we would get our asses sued straight away, because you're making a game called RuneScape when one already exists. And a lot of people have said, well, why don't you just do your own stuff? Well, and I'm like, it's never been the point of trying to make our own game. The point was just to make RuneScape through another game and sort of like play RuneScape differently, which has always been something I wanted to do. So this is why we use Neverwinter 2, and it's a valid reason in my opinion, because we do cut a lot of corners from modelling. So say if I want to put down a tree quick, let's say a dead tree, so I'm going to go in, I already know where they are, so it'll be easy to find it once I get rid of all these. So I'm going to go on winter and let's say just put down that and boom, there we go. So I won't have to, you know, animate the tree branches swaying. I won't have to sort of like create the entire tree itself. It's already done. So we honestly do just cut a lot of corners, and it is good in my opinion, because the whole entire point is to make a game like RuneScape. So if we did that in any other game, like seriously, like I just said, it would get sued instantly, and we would have to stop working on it. I've opened up the wrong area. So that's pretty much. Hopefully, I've made my point across. It does take ages to do work in Unity. Me and Colton have been invited to gaming groups before. The last gaming group we were in, we was creating a MMORPG, and the guy really wanted it like RuneScape, and if you want a game just like RuneScape, well, the game's gonna fail. To my knowledge, well, first off, me and Colton got kicked from the group, because they were from America and I'm from the UK, and Colton didn't live close to them, but they originally all like in real life friends together and all that, and they invited us to join them. So obviously we joined because it was fun, and we've done it before with other groups. We were the lore and level designers, and the whole entire point was to it was to sort of like just make the lore, and then somebody created, who we're still friends with, we're only friends with one person from the group because he was a nice person. So he made like the objects, say like a wall and a roof, and then we'd put it all together. And it took me a few weeks to do, and then one day, well, in the meantime between that, nobody was responding to us apart from the one guy who was sending us the like placeables, like walls and the roofs and all that. Like, he was the only one talking to us, so but everybody else we heard nothing from. So one day they finally spoke, and me and Colton got kicked straight away. Their excuse was that we haven't done any work at all and that we were pretty much leeching. But it was like, you know, we've pretty much completed our task you told us to do. We've been spamming you with messages saying, you know, what else is there to do, because we've completed our work, so can you tell us to move on to someone else? And they never replied, and then they kicked us, and they pretty much lost all the work we did, because we still owned the files and it was our work. They completely lost it, so they lost about a chunk of hours. Actually no, it wasn't hours, it was bloody weeks. So they lost a lot of weeks from just kicking us because they assumed we did nothing, because they didn't bother trying to talk to us. But yeah, me and Colton have always wanted to make our own game, but before that group we were with another group. Their idea of a game wasn't so good. They just wanted to create, well, the guy who we sort of seemed to be the leader of the group, he just wanted mining like RuneScape. It's like, you want to create an MMORPG, but all you're focusing on is mining. It was absolutely stupid. We actually got a lot of development in that group done, and it was really nice, but everybody just started going inactive, and everybody sort of like died down with the whole idea of making your own game. So that was just like the first bit, and then I just left. Well, me and Colton both left, and we haven't spoken to him since. The whole problem is, I think me and Colton would probably have to be like the group leaders of, say, like the group, and well, it's because it seems like we know. I don't know, sound like really ego, but it sounds like we really know what we're doing when it comes to making games. Now, I don't know, you could say our project isn't the best. We know it's not the best, that's why it's in beta, and we're trying to fix all the stuff which needs doing. As you can see at the moment, I'm just trying to make waypoints, well not waypoints, transitions in the wilderness. So if you were in, and I keep highlighting the bloody trees, that's so annoying. So say if I was in the wilderness and I was in the east border, I'm gonna run all the way from, like, I don't know, say like north of Varrock. I'm gonna run all the way up past the Chaos Altar, Forgotten Cemetery. No, that's not what it's called. What's we call it? Forgotten Graveyard, Graveyard something. Shadow Graveyard, I think it's called. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, I'm gonna run up here, and I'm gonna find this like transition, which is gonna make me go into this area. So pretty much I'm just connecting up all the areas so you can explore the entire wilderness. Just trying to think where I left off because I just got confused. I think I need to edit one of these. Yes, I do. That is east border. Oh my god, that is such an annoying bug. But anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video after I've just done this one. But yeah, the main reason we don't use the main reason we don't use Unity is because it takes far too long. We've been working on the project for about 5 years. Well, I've been working on the project for 5 years. Colton's about 2 to 3 years now, and other people have just sort of like started who's with us. And that's just one of them. Well, it's just one of the reasons. God, I cannot type. The other reason would be the fact that we would get sued, obviously, for trying to create RuneScape through another game, and then trying to sell that game, of course. But it seems a lot of people's problems is that they see it's like RuneScape and they just think they can play it on a web client. Neverwinter 2 is obviously a whole entire different game to RuneScape, so it works differently. But web client would be impossible in my opinion. I've never ever heard of it being able to be on a web client, on like the modding websites and all that. And that's pretty much it. And the fee, of course, well not the fee, but the price of the game, because you do need Neverwinter 2. It seems like that's the only problem, but like I've been telling people, if you really want to play the project, then it's an amazing investment in my opinion, because everything we're working on and everything we do for the project is going to be free. So say if I was a fan and I loved Molior RS and I wanted to play it, let's say it's 2015 and I buy Neverwinter 2 for £10 and I'm playing beta 0.6. So let's say I finally have that game, and then let's say in about 6 months time, the creators of Molior RS, they release the pay-to-play lands with members' skills, monsters, you know, it's like Slayer, and they release the Wilderness as well, which has like the King Black Dragon, the Chaos element, and some other custom bosses, as well as a shit ton of quests on free-to-play we need to do. And even say, let's say they release Sailing, and I have Neverwinter 2, I'm getting all this content pretty much for free, just because I spent £10 6 months ago, which hasn't affected my bank. I know, of course, there are people out there, because I'm pretty much one of them, who can't afford anything, but pretty much that's just the case, really. It is a good investment. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a comment and a like, and I will see you next time. Peace.